Hey guys, so we're back again here at our...
As na
Go lang. Go lang. Very fuzzy.
Ulit.
Hey guys, so we are back at our home studio for the 6th episode of the Bakit Show. For this episode, we are going to talk about something that is very relatable for everyone. Alam naman natin na nung nag-quarantine period, lahat talaga tayo naapektuhan financially, physically, emotionally, and of course, mentally. Kaya naman, for this topic, we are going to talk about kung bakit nga ba kailangan nating humingi ng tulong paminsan-minsan. So, our next guest is a multimedia practitioner and a licensed management coach. Kaya naman, for everyone watching right now, stay tuned and stick around until the end of the video kasi for sure, marami kayong matututunan. So, help me welcome our next guest, CK Castro. CK!
Hi, Gail.
Hello! Thank you so much for saying yes to be part of my show.
yes, thank you for inviting us and opportunity.
Of course, no? Ang naisip kong question for you is, kasi nga marami for sure sa ating mga viewers or sa mga tao ngayon na naapektuhan rin talaga very much with the quarantine. And some of them don't know how to deal with it or what to do or how to ask for help. So CK, ang bakit question ko for you is, bakit kailangan nating humingi ng tulong paminsan-minsan?
Okay. So, yun ang pinaka-nice question about this quarantine kasi ang daming nangangailangan na tulong financially, physically,
Right.
pero how about mentally and emotionally? So, why do we need especially of our well-being? Kasi mag-a-affect yun first is on our decisions. So, towards our life. Second is goals. Yung goals na ina-attain natin. Kasi without the stability of our mind or yung mga decisions natin, hindi natin ma-attain yung goals natin. Third is, it affects also our well-being sa family man yan. Sa work, sa career, sa love life. Lahat yung triggering point is yung decisions mo mapupunta in a way na magiging negative, especially towards your family or kung sino man yung makakasalamuha mo sa bahay. Bakit kailangan natin ng tulong? Simply means we're not alone in this world.
So, curious na ako, CK, ikaw ba, personally, have you experienced before wherein you know you needed help but you were hesitant and ayaw mo? And how did you deal with it eventually?
Yeah, so yes, of course. So hindi ako mapupunta dito sa field na to kung hindi ko siya na-experience on hand. So before kasi yung personality ko is like sobrang fun. Like siguro pagkasama mo ako, you just be fun around with me. Na masaya lang lagi, go with the flow. Kasi hili ko is music, so banda-banda, tapos multimedia, so ang daming industry, ang daming mga tao makakasalamuha. And I'm that kind of person na serious pero fun to be with. But the problem is I'm the one who have this gift of listening. Na I'm the one who's listening to the problems of my friends, especially my family, colleagues. So naipon sa akin. Hanggang sa syempre ako, I have to deal also kung ano yung nangyayari sa buhay ko without any help. Kasi kilala nila ako na nakikinig lang. Sige, sometimes I give advices or suggestions. But eventually, napuno na ako. As in, parang umiyak na lang ako one time in a way na hindi ko alam yung nangyayari pala sa akin. Oh my God, na parang punong-puno na pala ako ng problema. So, ang dami kong tinutulungan, ang dami kong kinakausap, ang dami kong pinapakinggan. Pero yung sarili ko pala hindi ko.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, eventually, someone noticed na, CK, are you still okay? So, on that point na parang, is it my father speaking? Is it the Lord speaking? Is it my friend speaking? Hindi ko siya nakita noon. And when I eventually open myself to others, doon siya mas naging mas naging mas madali na mag-open and
Mhm.
magsabi. And eventually, ang tawag dito, I embraced yung sinasabi nila na you're blessed to love, but you're also blessed to be loved. So yun yung naging parang motivation ko every day that I am loved by
True.
so I am loved too. So ayun, mas na naging madali na siya kasi people are listening. People are trying their best to not just comfort you but to help you.
Ang ganda ng CK, kinilabutan ako. Kasi totoo, I mean, totoo, no? Kasi parang, yun nga maganda rin tong question na to for people who thinks na kaya nila lahat.
Yes.
Who thinks that they're superheroes, di ba? Na, I think, I got this term from my friend, the Messiah complex. Kasi people have this tendency to, fix other people beyond themselves, di ba? Na parang feeling nila, I'm fine, don't worry about me, especially you, di ba? Kasi kami ni CK, we're high school friends. And I think we're close naman back then. And sobrang witness ka talaga yung maturity ni CK. As in, sobra. So, na-appreciate ko how you shared that. Na yun nga na parang, totoo yun. Si CK before, he was really very fun to be with. And talagang, he's really a listener. And usually ganun, di ba? Parang yung mga taong masayahin, sila pala talaga yung may mga deep na problems. And it takes one person to tell you na you need help. And that's when you ask for help. Kasi eventually, mapapagod ka, di ba? So how can you be able to help others if you don't know how to ask help? Diba? So CK is one of the very few people, I believe, who has the gift of listening. Kasi tama ba ako, CK? Not everyone has this gift. Okay? But then again, I'm glad na mental health is already something na very familiar to everyone. So now that they are aware of it, I think it's also our responsibility to educate ourselves on how to, deal with people who suffer from it. So, CK, baka naman you can give us tips as a licensed management coach on how, baby steps on how we, na walang gift of listening, can listen, especially if you have friends and families who are suffering from mental health illnesses.
Okay. Thank you. So, first tip or step is when you ask that person first. So, kunyari, ikaw yung nag-start ng conversation, are you okay? So, doon mag-start yung conversation ng kung ano man yung stories na ibibigay ko or kung ano man yung sasabihin mo. Second is listen. So, wag kang, or yun talaga, never interrupt the conversation of that person. So, never interrupt. Kasi once you interrupt, first is mawawala yung stories or yung kung ano man yung gusto sabihin ng person with concern. Second is para siyang mahihiya na. Kasi biglang nagsalita, hindi pa nga tapos magsalita. So also third is sign of respect also to that person's feelings. Third is if the person stops speaking, always ask and then but don't ever say what else. Kasi parang naghahanap ka na.
Right, parang ano
Kasi,
ba?
tapos na ba?
Okay. Oh, that's valid. Okay, and then, okay.
Kasi the way yung term, especially us, ang dami nating linggo, ang dami nating terms sa Filipino. Diba? So once you said na, tapos, parang you're not, in a way, some people are not offended on that word, but some are, yes. Especially yung syempre, and yung nag-share. If the person is already finished on the conversation, always ask him, do you need something? So you can offer him, firstly, yung mga nandyan, tubig, panyo, ganyan. So yeah. Second part of, so ask him, what kind of help do you need? So always ask the person kasi baka meron na siyang idea na kailangan na meron na anong tulong yung kailangan. Second is if kunyari sinabi niya na hindi ko din alam eh. Then doon mo i-assess yung story na conversation kung saan mo siya i-refer. Yun. So listening, lastly is don't give advice if you're not professional. Especially yun, kunyari.
Naku, may ganun pa naman tayong tendency. Mostly may ganun tendency na, anak ko ako yan. Ganon!
Yan, yan. Yan talaga.
Totoo yan. So, mali. Hindi pwede ganon.
Tsaka yung ibabaling mo sa sarili mo yung point. Kunyari, oo ako din. Ito pa nga yung experience.
Naku, mas malala pa pala yung akin. Ganyan. Right?
First, yung practice na yun mahirap. Especially pagka yung kausap mo, tawag dito, very lang. O yung tipong, yung story niya is frustrating or yung alam mo yung mga decisions na dun sa all throughout ng kwento niya is naka-frustrate. Bakit mo ginawa yun sa utak mo? Bakit mo naman kasi ginawa yun, di ba?
Right.
So, parang,
yung may tendency ka na to judge.
So, nag-victim blaming na, ganyan sa utak mo. So, at first, yun yung mahirap na part kasi as ourselves, marami tayong practices or meron tayong hinumog tayo kung ano man o kung sino man o kung ano may pinaniniwalaan natin. Diba? So, sa mga desisyon natin. So, hindi lahat parehas natin, hindi lahat katulad natin, or hindi lahat may idea sa ginagawa natin. So, ayun. Listen. Yun lang, literal listen.
Okay.
Eventually, practice. I advise to practice it with your parents. So, if you're fortunate enough to have your parents, talk to them. Especially, sa kanila, ang dami nilang story. But if you're living alone, virtually, your workmates or your friends.
Wow. Thank you so much, CK. Okay. So, remember those 5 steps. Okay. Ngayon, so that's from the point of view of the listener. Now, what if, balik naman tayo sa point of view ng someone who wants to be listened to. What if people around them, or the people they love, or people around them, do not really listen, or do not know how to listen? That makes them, parang, okay, ayoko na magsalita. What can you tell them?
Firstly, kasi ang laging ginagawa ng nasasaktan or yung may pinagdadaan is tumahimik. Diba?
Yeah.
Kasi, sige, okay lang to. Okay na to.
Yeah.
Okay na to, siguro, pwede na siguro kung bukas baka wala na to. Itulog ko lang to, ikain ko lang to, iinom ko lang to. So, itrabaho ko lang to yung mga addict. So, yun ang nagiging ways or nagiging practices na natin, which makes the problem worse. Kasi, you can say na merong mga problems na kunyari, kaya nag-aaway kayo ng boyfriend mo, o kaya sino man your loved one, tapos bringing back yung past. It will also affect you kasi baka yung past na yun, hindi pa siya answered or hindi pa siya clear. So, makadagdag pa yun sa pinagdadaan. So, tapos mabalik ka ulit dun sa gesture na, sige, tatahimik na lang. Sige, pumababa na lang ako ng pride. So, first thing, yes, you can do that. You can, kasi it's your decision. It's yourself. It's how you love yourself, or it's how you deal with others. But, eventually, there will be a time, like, from my experience, hindi ka sasabog eh. Matutunaw ka lang na hindi yung tunaw na parang you're eventually thinking of suicide. Kasi ayoko na, hindi ko na kaya. Wala naman nakikinig, wala naman nagmamahal sa akin. Kasi ang lagi mo na rin naririnig, negative, o kaya puro advice na hindi mo naman kayang gawin.
Kaya lilipas din yan.
Kaya mo yan. Yun ang huwag yung gagamitin na word. Kaya mo yan. So, for them, if you're fortunate enough, if you have the resources, if no one listens to you or no one, as in listen to you, yung emotionally and mentally, seek help professionally. So, kasi you need to assess if it's a mental health issue na, or is it just sadness, or is it stress lang. Kailangan i-assess yan by professional help if you're fortunate enough. Second naman is find friends or find people that will listen to you. Kasi if sa bahay hindi mo siya magawa or sa bahay na tumatahimik ka lang, be somewhere else na yung comfort place. So for those people that practice faith, yung adoration church. Walang nakikinig doon, pero ramdam mo na may nakikinig. If you try, especially on Catholic. So sobrang silent kasi niya. May iiyak ka lang kasi kunya nagdadasal ka lang, dahil mong problema. nagdasal ka doon or just lifting yung nasa utak mo kung anong nangyari sa buhay. May iiyak ka na lang kasi your feeling of yung silence may nahigit. Diba? What else? Be with friends na kaya mag-listen talaga. So, you have your own list of friends, of course. Meron dyan yung maingay lang, meron dyan yung financer lang, o kaya meron dyan yung talagang true friend, real friend, yung sasabihin sa'yo yung ano yung masama, ano yung mabuti towards your decision, o kung ano yung nangyayari. And lastly is yourself. Always listen to yourself. Kasi kunyari, baka hanap ka ng makikinig sa'yo, yun pala, internally, talaga yung word. Hindi mo pala pinapakinggan yung sarili.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Thank you, CK. So finally, for my last question is, as a professional, so you're the listener, di ba? You listen professionally, but paano naman kayo? For sure, you're only humans, diba? Though you're a professional, syempre you also encounter, your own issues, your own problems. So who do you seek help, and how do you deal with your own issues?
Ayan. So, as you can see this sa buong conversation ng buong segment na to, parang hindi ako makapagsalita ng straight. Because, yun nga, cons ng gift of listening is hindi ka masyadong
Hindi naman. Okay.
So, from our end, we have also our communities around. So, kami muna, syempre, kunyari, merong profession or merong isang coach na hindi rin kaya yung kung ano may nangyari through that conversation with a client. So, kami din first. But for personal naman, mostly family. So, for mine is family and my fiancé. So, si fiancé kasi, siya yung talagang sabi ng sabi. Like my family, maraming sinasabi, maraming kinikwento. So, part of it na rin na where you're listening, you're able to learn how to speak na rin. Yan nga, kagaya ka nga sabi ko kanina. I'm not able to speak fully or yung dire-diretso. But from listening, you also learn how to speak. So, ayun. So, especially pagka ako lang mag-isa, adoration church. So, I practice my faith. So, yun nga kanina, adoration churches, nakakaiyak siya. So, you can try. There's no boundaries like religion or title. You can try enter the adoration church. Uplift everything kung ano man yung gusto mong gawin. The silence will answer. Yung silence talaga will answer.
Wow. Thank you so much, CK. Okay, so, grabe, ang dami matutunan. My God. Thank you, ha, CK. So, now you know, ha. So, if you need help, just go consult CK. So, later, we will promote, meron siyang i-announce later. So, okay. So, the entire segment, medyo mabigat, no? But we have really learned a lot. And it's really an eye-opener, not just for me, ha? For sure, for our viewers and listeners. So, let's make things a bit lighter. So, I tried to research on my own, pero I also asked the help of your fiancé. So, since as a management coach, sabi mo nga, isa sa mga expertise niya is a decision making. Pero what if ang kailangan mong i-decide are between the things you love? Medyo mahirap siya. So now, I researched and I asked Eliza, your fiancé, on the things you love and like. Okay, so I have here 5 choices. I'll make you choose and then tell us why and what made you choose that option. Okay, let's see how CK deals with his own decisions. This is a test. Okay, let's start. Are you ready?
I'm not ready.
Hindi naman.
Anyway.
These are just a few, I guess, of the things he's really passionate about and he's very familiar with. Okay, first is Star Wars or Marvel?
Star Wars.
Ay, ang galing, ang bilis. Why?
Fan of the Marvel, the entire universe. Who built me of the nerd side is always me.
Okay. Si Yara na. Ang gulo. Okay, so may hugot pala kasi siya sa Star Wars. Okay, that was easy. Okay, next. K-drama or anime? Whew.
Okay, so
Sabi ni Eliza, ang K-drama daw, siya daw yung parang nag-influence sa'yo kasi baka nakulitan ka na sa kanya.
actually,
But you learned to love it
Mm.
anyway. So,
hmm, well, for sure, K-drama. Yes. There are a lot of things to consider. First is yung anime, siguro, like 5 years ago na yung talagang binge watch talaga siya.
Okay.
But with K-drama, with my future life ahead, yung kasama ko, or my wife, or my future wife, syempre, living po. Moving. Oh my God, for sure, my decision will be mutual with her.
Ang
So,
ganda.
K-drama.
Next is, eto, career naman to. Since you're a multimedia practitioner and medyo broad ang yung expertise on that, so, is it videography or graphic design?
So, graphic design.
Talaga? I thought you choose videography. Why graphic design?
So, since I graduated in college, my envision to myself is to create my full-length film.
Oo.
Yun talaga, as in, from the very beginning. But eventually, I invested myself financially sa mga trainings,
Mhm.
and also from what I watched dun kay Camille, kay Ria, na
Okay.
you see yung comments ng tao will affect you also on your decision. So I listen to them na you're mostly befitted on that line, which is graphic design skills.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Next is, ano naman, on toys.
Mhm.
Lego or cars?
So, Lego.
Okay.
Why? Simply because they relieve my stress.
Right. Saka it also, parang stimulates your creativity, no?
Yes.
Which is somehow related to your field. Okay. And finally, final question. So, is it basketball or video games?
For the sake of safety also, and for the sake of my wife also enjoying video game.
Okay.
And siguro on a side na rin na nagkakaedad na tayo, like there will be times na mas confident ka lang maglaro sa like PS4 or sa computer kaysa sa mismong basketball. Baka ma-injure ka pa. Ayun.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Seeker, for being so
Thank
game
you.
on that. So, syempre, hindi ka namin papakawalan without, your final message to our viewers and our listeners. So, what can you tell them in general?
Okay. So for people who wants just to listen, practice it with your family. Again, my suggestion is do it with the people na nakasama mo every day. So family or your friends or your partner or your wife or your husband. Practice to listen to them every day. So practice siya eh. So hindi talaga siya makuha in one time. Kasi yung practices mo, especially pag ikaw naman is lagi kang involved sa conversation, need mo rin pa rin i-practice yung listening. For those who, like me, na nag-struggle on speaking up, always have the choice of choosing yourself. But come to think of it, na hindi ka makakatulong or like listening or hindi ka makakagawa or hindi ka makakapunta sa goals mo kung you yourself is not okay. So you need to learn to speak up. Pero you need to also choose the people that will listen. So baka din kasi na may mga tao na hindi rin pala talaga kaya makinig. Or baka you need professional help na pala. Or sometimes you need to talk to yourself.
Wow, thank you. That was such a beautiful ending note. And of course, since CK nga entered the venture of being a management coach, he is also starting his own podcast. Ayan, I'm so excited for it. So it's called Pakinggan Podcast. So tell us more about it, CK.
Yeah, so as of the moment, so we're building the podcast to the viewers or to the listeners. na gustong magsalita. Anonymously or kung gusto mong pakilala on air. So, it's not a radio show but a podcast or pre-recorded siya before we live it. So, if you have concerns or you've been struggling on your decisions or ano bang pwedeng gawin about your career or sa love life mo or whatever things that you want to be na may makikinig sa'yo, pakinggan podcast will listen to you.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So, ang ganda nun. Kasi, number one, it's free. And if you have a problem, you don't really have to go on air. You can just listen to those who have the strength to, seek for help. And so, guys, stay tuned for that Pakinggan podcast. It's gonna be up very, very soon. So, CK, once again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, your insights. This has been a very interesting and insightful segment for me. So, thank you so much then for watching and for listening. So, this has been episode 6 of The Bakit Show. Thank you so much!